Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Romer, and I am here to talk about what we are going to do for science this week. This week, I thought that we would learn about giraffes. And I just picked giraffes because I think they're very interesting animals, and we can learn a lot about them. And so I just decided to go ahead and do giraffes. We were supposed to go to the zoo, and so it's a great zoo animal. It's one of the animals that you kind of think of when you're talking about zoo. So I decided that we would just go ahead and go with that. So what I have plans for is I'm going to read you a couple of fact books about giraffes, and you can read along with me if you like to. I'm going to zoom in tight on those so that you can see what's going on in the story and see the pictures really well and everything. And what I want you to do when I show you these books is after we have finished reading them, I want you to think about three things that you think that that you have learned about giraffes. Three new things that you've learned about giraffes. And I want you to make 3 sentences out of those new things that you've learned about giraffes. And I want you to write it down in your writing journal. So you're going to listen to the story, and then afterwards, you're going to think about 3 things that you've learned and then write it down in your writing journal. Then you're going to add a picture for me. Then the next day, I've got another book about giraffes, and we're going to listen to another story. And then you are going to write me 2 more new facts that you've learned about giraffes. So when we're finished with your journal writing, you will have a total of 5 things that that we read about together in the story about giraffes. So, and then like I said, you're going to give me a picture, and then if you would take a picture of it and send it to me, so that I can see your writing, and Mrs. Romer is going to be looking for your writing, or looking at your writing for your report card. So it's really important that you share with Mom and Dad. Hey, Mom and Dad, you need to take a picture of my writing. So it's really good, and I've done my very best job, and Mrs. Romer wants to see it for my report card. So that's where we're what we are going to be doing for this week. After we have spent some time learning about giraffes, then we're actually going to make a giraffe. And we're going to make them out of construction paper like we do a lot of times in class. And I have already given you the materials that you will need in order to make your giraffe. So Jake and Katie Beth, my son and my daughter, they're going to help us with that and with making the giraffe. And so you can kind of move along with the video as they're making their giraffe. You can make yours. And what you're going to need before we make our giraffe is there's a yellow piece of construction paper in your folder that Mrs. Romer has given you. You're going to need to cut all of the pieces out of that yellow piece of construction paper and then put it back in your baggie that Mrs. Romer gave you, and just save it. You're also going to need your brown piece of construction paper that's already in your baggie, and you're going to need to cut that shape out as well, and then stick it back in your baggie and save it for the time that we are going to make our giraffe. You'll need your glue, and then there's also some yarn, some little pieces of brown yarn that are also in your baggie, and you're going to need that as well. Let's see, what else will you need? You will need a brown crayon and a black crayon as well. You can use marker if you want to or whatever, but brown crayon and brown marker, black crayon, I'm sorry, and brown marker, let me try again. Brown crayon and black crayon will do just fine, and or you can use markers, either one. Then, towards the end of the week, you are going to name your giraffe that that you have finished completing. And then you are going to create a fun story about your giraffe. You talk about where he lives and what he likes to do for fun and who his family is, or whatever the case may be. So it's your story, so you are the one that gets to navigate how the story goes. So I'm looking for 2 writing pieces from you for science this week. And one is a factual piece on giraffes, and the other one is going to just be a fun, creative writing story on giraffes. What you should have already completed so far is chapters 5 and chapters 6 in your science book. And if you haven't completed that already, then that's okay. You still have some time or whatever. You can go back and you can read. And then you'll need to do the activities in chapter 5 and 6 as well. And you can take your time with that or whatever. Please do what mommy and daddy say and get your science done. But what those chapters are on is just God's creatures and God's creation, and some wonderful things about, what the Lord has created for us as far as, the animals in the ocean. And things like that. So we need to get our chapters 5 and our chapter 6 done. And then next week, we have some more stories about animals that we are going to be reading about, how they move and where they live, and just things like that. And so Mrs. Romer will be reading to you, and then you've also got some activities in your packet for that as well that we will be doing next week. So that's how our science is set up. And so now what we're going to go ahead and we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we are going to read our first fact book on giraffes. So Mrs. Romer is going to put her glasses on so that Mrs. Romer can see. And I am going to pick you up here. So I'm going to come get you, and we are going to zoom in to our giraffe book, and it looks like this, and it's called Giraffes by National Geographic. All right, so like I said, I am going to try to zoom in as best as possible, and I'm also trying to do this one-handed, so if you will be just patient. All right, here we go. It says, guess who? What do you call an animal so tall it reaches the treetops with no help at all? That's a big clue. Do you want to guess who? A giraffe. Big bodies. Did you know that giraffes are the tallest animals on land? Their legs are as tall as a grown man. Their necks are just as tall. If you add in their bodies, that means giraffes can be 14 to 19 feet tall. Giraffes have spots. Their spots can be light tan. They can also be brown or almost black. How are the giraffes' patterns different? Look at the giraffe patterns on that page. Look at how they're different. Did you know that they're different patterns of giraffes? Each giraffe has a pattern of spots, but no 2 giraffes have the same pattern. That's how you can tell them apart. Giraffes at home. A herd of giraffe walks on the African plains. Look at those giraffes walking in there. Isn't that cool? Giraffes live where it's hot and dry. They live on the plains in Africa. So giraffes live in Africa. Giraffes stay together in a group. The group is called a herd. A herd usually has 6 to 12 giraffes. Oh, meal time. For giraffes, it is always mealtime. They eat for 16 to 20 hours every day. That means they eat lots and lots of leaves. Most of these leaves are from acacia trees. These giraffes have stopped to eat from acacia trees. Look, here he is eating his leaves. Oh, let's see, hang on just a second. Let me center up the camera. Alrighty. A giraffe can reach the leaves that other animals can't get, because it's a long neck, of course. A giraffe's body helps it get food. A long neck helps a giraffe get leaves up high. A long tongue and wide lips grab the leaves. These body parts work together to reach around the thorns. Look at that tongue on that giraffe. Goodness sakes. That's a big tongue. A giraffe's body can also get in the way. Giraffes have to bend way down to get a drink, but the acacia leaves they eat have lots of water in them, so giraffes only need to drink every few days. So they don't need much water because they get the water from the leaves. Oh, 6 fun facts about giraffes. A giraffe's tongue is bluish black up front, and it's pink on the back. The darker color helps keep the tongue from getting a sunburn. Oh my goodness, who would have ever thought that a giraffe could get a sunburn on his tongue? A baby giraffe can run a few hours after it's born. So it's born and all of a sudden it can run really quick. Male giraffes are called bulls. Females are called cows. Do you know that a female giraffe is called a cow? And a male giraffe is called a bull. A large male giraffe can weigh up to 3,000 pounds. A giraffe eats a thorn. Oh, I'm sorry. If a giraffe eats a thorn, not to worry, giraffes have thick saliva or spit that will coat any thorns that are eaten. A giraffe has 2 horns on its head. Males use them to fight with other males. Big babies. Some big animals have small babies, but not giraffes. They are big animals that have big babies. A baby giraffe weighs 100 to 150 pounds when it's born. It's called a calf. At birth, a calf weighs as much as an adult woman. Young giraffes, let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit here, or center it up. Young giraffes stay with other calves during the day. A mother in the herd babysits. This helps keep the calves safe. The other adults leave to look for food. Oh boy. Look here, we see a crocodile. on the lookout. Adult giraffes also look out for each other. They watch for predators like lions and crocodiles. If a giraffe sees a predator, it snorts. This warns the others. Run! Giraffes can run very fast for a short time. This helps them get away. They can use their hooves to kick a predator too. Hard hooves can keep a lion away. Nap time. All that watching and eating doesn't leave much time for sleep. Luckily, giraffes need less than 3 hours of sleep every day. They usually nap standing up, but not always. What in the world? These pictures are close-up views of things in a giraffe's world. Use the hints to figure out what's in the pictures. All right, so first, here, picture number 1. The hint is they can be used to kick. What do you think that is? That's right, they're their hooves. Number 2, a giraffe's home is here. Where's a giraffe's home? That's right, in the plains in Africa. Number 3, giraffes eat lots of these. What do giraffes eat a lot of? Do you remember? Leaves, acacia leaves. Number 4, these make a pattern. What are these? A giraffe's spots. Okay, number 5, a giraffe has a tongue that is long, has one of these. Whoops, I told the answer. Has one of these that's long and dark. What is it? It's his tongue. And number 6, a giraffe's head has 2 of these. What are those? Horns. Very good. Good job, boys and girls. I'm going to switch you back up here. All right. And there you are. It was great reading with you and sharing with you today. And I will be back tomorrow for more information on giraffes. Don't forget to write in your journal. Bye-bye, boys and girls.